All right. Before I have to go deal with that train wreck known as Sunday Night Football between the Cowboys and the Eagles, we got to talk about this offense because this offense right now is on life support. It's gotten to that point. You are fresh off of a bye week. You had all that time to figure out the issues and come out and put up a solid game. Now, of course, start a game, you can't go completely mistake-free against a defense like Pittsburgh. No one's expecting that. I expected to see a mistake or two, probably a penalty, a fumble here. I expected that to happen at some point. But to go out there and look like that? Oh, my God. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. That might be the worst game he's had of his career. And it's becoming more frequent that we're saying that. Honestly, this season, I don't know which game's worse, this game or Kansas City. I might have to say this game because in Kansas City, he didn't do anything, but neither did his receivers. In this game, he just turned the ball all over. 4 turnovers, 2 picks, 2 fumbles. You can argue with the Kansas City game, the team just didn't show up as a whole. They didn't play well. With this game, they lost. A big reason because a big part of them losing has to deal with the fact that Lamar granted the Steelers 14 points. One on the pick 6, the other a god-awful pick. One of the worst picks I've seen. It was you threw it right to this dude. I don't know what you were looking at. But it was a god-awful pick that put the Steelers in the red zone, and then Eric Ebronke just stroll in for a wide-open, easy touchdown. I mean, just granting that team 14 points when their offense couldn't move. So Lamar himself, he has not played up to his standard at all this season. In fact, there's only one game you can point to where Lamar Jackson looked like the Lamar Jackson we saw last year. MVP Lamar. That was one time he showed up. That was week 1 against Cleveland. Since then, Lamar has not played up to his standard. He has yet to get back to that level. He's been, at best, an average quarterback. Now, there's times he's made plays and times he's looked elite and times when Lamar does Lamar things. But for the most part, in terms of consistency for a whole 60 minutes, he has not put together an elite type of game. And he himself knows that. And he has to work on that. Because if he can't get back to that level, then this team's not going to go far in the postseason. Every time we talk to Lamar, he's always talking about getting to that big game, getting to Super Bowl. But if this is how you're going to perform in this type of moment, this is a big moment. If this is what you're going to do, what do you expect to do in the playoffs? It doesn't matter what team you're going to go up against. If you continue to fold under the pressure in big moments, what are you going to do? Lamar, you got to work on yourself. Unfortunately, Lamar isn't the only issue in this offense. If it was just a quarterback, you could just tell him to get himself together. But it is more than that. Offensive line is really on life support. And now that Stanley is gone for the season, we're in some serious trouble. I honestly don't know how you protect this dude. If this is the case, after this performance, considering the fact that Steelers front 7 tortured Lamar in this game and beat him up, what do you do as an offensive line to improve? The Coster might have to make some moves and bring in an offensive lineman or something, but this O-line is not going to be able to protect Lamar moving forward. He's going to be getting sacked a lot this season. So, what do? Well, I would say you may want to start calling some quick passes and see how that goes, but we got Greg Roman as our offensive coordinator, so I don't see that happening. And we're gonna get to Greg Roman in just a second. But these receivers, man. These receivers actually showed up today. They did their job. But so far this season as a unit, they haven't performed well. Which is why you see the Ravens going out to look for their guys. But I think it's less about them not performing well and more about them not being schemed right. And this alludes me to what happened after the game. Hollywood Brown, he went on Twitter and he tweeted his frustrations with the offense, talking about how you got all these soldiers out there and you're not even utilizing them. He basically took a shot at Lamar Jackson and Greg Roman. Not so much Lamar. In some cases, it's still Lamar because Lamar is a quarterback and he's got to get him the ball. But it was more towards Greg Roman because Greg Roman's not scheming anything for these receivers to get open. He's not giving his receivers an opportunity. Most of the time, they're going out there to block. When they go empty set, that's not scheming anything. And for the most part, he's just like, hey, Hollywood, run a go route, see if Lamar can find you. Is he going to find him? Probably not, especially with this offensive line. Like, there's nothing here that he's scheming for. Where are the quick plays on this offense? This leads me to Greg Roman. Dude, I honestly thought that you would make it to the end of the season because I didn't see the Ravens getting rid of you. But after seeing Hollywood come out like that and go on social media and express his frustrations with this offense, it's clear as day that he is probably getting sick and tired of the play calling. And I'm sure Hollywood isn't the only one. I'm sure there's other receivers on this team would probably say the same thing. They're just not going to go out and do it. Hollywood expresses frustration, and I think he's about done with Greg Roman's system. I'm dead serious with this. Hollywood is not happy with the situation here, and the fact that he's expressing this means Greg Roman, you're on thin ice, bro. You are on a tight leash. I think the Ravens, honestly, could be looking to bring in somebody else because your play calling is not it, Chief. Oh, it's great. You can go out there beating the Eagles, barely beating the Washington football team. For God's sake. By the way, can they just get a name or something? Please give them a name. What were they trying to call them early on? The Red Wolves, the Red Tails? Just give them something so I have something to cling on. I'm not going to continue to say the Washington football team. The Washington football team. Give me a name. Red Wolves, Red Tails, whatever you got to call them. I don't know. Give them a team name. But yeah, against Washington, you beat that. You beat Cincinnati. Congrats. But in all those games, the past game still wasn't great. Now, let's tell you, Greg Roman, your passing calls, your play calling in general is just suspect. And when it comes to the passing game, you have no creativity there for the most part. You may occasionally come up with a creative play call, but for the most part, you don't know what you're doing in the passing game. And it's starting to show with these receivers. And Hollywood Brown is starting to show his frustration. So this offense right now is on life support, man. It's not looking good. You got a quarterback that is getting worse and worse. He's just performing worse and not up to his standard. You've got an offensive line that was already terrible, losing now one of their best players. So they're going to be worse off for the rest of the season, and they're going to be out without their best player there. So you got that situation. You've got a receiving core that's trying to get open. Not all of them are talented, but they're trying to get open. However, they're not getting the ball. And you got, your speedster, your deep threat in Hollywood Brown. He's frustrated with the play calling. And you got an offensive coordinator in Greg Roman that just doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to the play calling. These are all issues. And until the Ravens can address them, as far as I'm concerned, they're a playoff team, but they're going to go one and done again. This team is looking like a one and done type team. They're going to get in the playoffs and lose in the wild card round. That's how it looks right now. You still got plenty of time in the season to fix it, but if I'm John, if I'm DeCosta, and I'm seeing Hollywood Brown come out and talk like this, it might be time to have a talk with Greg Roman. It might really be time to have a talk with Greg Roman. If it results in you firing him, so be it. If it results in you telling him he needs to step his game up or he will be fired this season, so be it. But you need to have a talk with him. Also, you might need to have a talk with Lamar, because Lamar right now, he's folding under the pressure. He's trying to do too much, and he's just making mistakes Lamar would never make. If you went last year or even his rookie year, you would see Lamar wouldn't be making the type of mistakes that he made today. Like, he's just not going to throw those type of passes. I don't know what he was thinking. In fact, he threw up one dangerous pass that was caught by Mark Andrews. I don't know what he was thinking when he threw that pass. That honestly was just up in the air for grabs, and he threw that. What is he thinking? I don't know what Lamar is thinking right now. He's just been looking bad, man. He's been looking bad, and he's got to improve. The receivers are getting tired of this play calling. Greg Roman, something needs to change, man. Right now, this team, this offense is on life support. And until they can figure out these issues, whether it's Greg Roman's play calling, meaning he might have to go, what is Lamar Jackson, meaning somebody has to talk to him and he needs to get his head on straight, what is the offensive line, and that means If the Cox has to go out and possibly trade for somebody, whatever the issue is, it has to be fixed. Because if it's not fixed, this team is going one and done in the playoffs. And it's going to be another season of disappointment despite all the talent you have around you. You can beef up your defense as much as you want. If you can't score points, you're not going to win the game. Especially against teams like the Chiefs. And now we're seeing it against teams like Pittsburgh. If the offense is not up to par, y'all are going to be in trouble. So, Lamar, get it together, man. Offensive line, figure this out, man. Or maybe the Cox got to bring somebody in. And Greg Roman, you're on thin ice, man. I could very well see them firing you this season if you don't show them anything. Like, this season's very important for this team, and you're out here with this play calling just looking like a fool. Just a entire mess, man. So, yeah. Ravens, offense, on life support. Fix it, fix it, fix it, or we're going to be in trouble moving forward. That's all I got. Time to go watch this Sunday Night Football game. It's going to be garbage. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.